What's up, Star Wars Unlimited fans? It's Loopy at Late Night Gaming, and we are here for Late Night Live. And this is the first appearance of Team Sekrit. How are you guys doing?
Doing well.
Doing well as well.
So we're just crushing new ground all over the place. This is the first Sunday Fun Day stream, I remember. But I think we all had events, on Saturday, so Friday night was not ideal. So who do we have? We have Sunny D, the one and only. How are you doing?
It's been good. Thanks for having us, Loopy.
Yep. And Sunny, I think we met in Gen Con, right?
Yes, yeah, we did meet at Gen Con. But before that, we did a masterclass.
Yep.
I believe it was the Palp Yellow one before Gen Con, and then after Gen Con, we did the Han Green one.
That's right. And Palp Yellow is actually a really underplayed deck still, too. Tim did very well with it. Actually, at the Chicago PQ, he did not top because he paired Sabine 3 times. But, that's kind of bad.
Yeah, and I just heard that it had won a PQ today in Europe.
Doesn't surprise me. I mean, it's really good in Takira, and I think it's probably really good into Han Green. If Tim at all is saying it correctly. And then we also have Ryan DeCreasy, who is a Team Sekrit member. No, you guys are all kind of out east, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yep. I live like 10-15 minutes from Sunny.
All right. So
out in the Northern Virginia area. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, thanks very much. And we're going to do a couple best of threes tonight. You guys are definitely a competitive team, so we're going to do it that format rather than jank and meta stuff. But why don't you tell me a little bit about Team Sekrit? I'm going to share the link around to socials so people know that we're streaming at a different time.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So it originally started with Michael, myself, and Ryan Conroe. They're both brothers. And we've been friends for 15-ish years now. And we've played card games from Magic, Flesh and Blood, One Piece, Yu-Gi-Oh! Just a number of different card games together. And we would always joke around about having like secret brews that we wouldn't tell each other, like all this kind of stuff. And so we just kind of were... It was just a joke at first, and then it became this. We started talking to Andrew and Sunny. Sunny and I have been playing in showdowns. That's how we met. We actually met at a showdown, and then we went to Richmond for May the 4th last year, and then we started kind of traveling together at showdowns and stuff, and just kind of became friends doing that. We traveled down to Florida to play in a PQ during the first PQ series. That was a lot of fun, and that's how we just started, just creating a group of us that were like, we have a common, all of us play, we're all really enjoying the game, they're very good players, and then we just kind of decided to, hey, what if we just made some competitive content? I don't want to say nobody's doing competitive content, but we wanted to do competitive content from a different angle. Michael and myself, with our Magic background, had watched a lot of Star City games content in the day back in the mid 2010s, and they would do something called like SCG Live, and they would do like play testing of different new decks and archetypes during spoiler season, and they would do deep depth analysis through the articles and stuff. And so we're like, okay, what if we just like did something like that? And it's kind of been going that route. I started up a podcast to kind of just talk about Star Wars and hang out every Monday night. We do that at 8 p.m. That's a lot of fun. And so we just kind of group of friends that like Star Wars, and then we kind of just were like, let's kind of be competitive at it and maybe make some content along the way.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, definitely. I think we formalized this probably around December time. Really, the time that we started getting into producing content and then actually even competing together as a team was BIATL and onwards. That BIATL event really incentivized that for us. And before that, we did do a lot of testing together, and then deck discussion, card
did you
discussion.
Guys win any matches at BIATL? I don't recall.
Yes, yeah. So in BIATL, we did really well as a team. We got third place, and then several of us did well in the individual events as well on all of the days.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's really when I became aware. I actually very sadly missed BIATL because I was trying to cover Adepticon, and then that didn't work out. So it was the same weekend. But tell me about that event. It looked like a heck of a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was probably one of the better events that I've played in. I think for me having a team event that I've done that in a few different other games, but not to the level that BIATL was, where you had a seating arrangement and then also like matchups because you could only pick like one leader, right?
Right.
Combination, yeah. So it was an interesting dynamic for
And I
sure. And
think
then
every
we
team
had
but one had Django, if I recall right.
yeah, I think every team by one or two had a Django on it, and that was kind of the expectation. But the other two decks, it was in between Quinlan and then Cad and a few others, right? We had Han as well. Han Yellow was still pretty good at that point, so I think that was the majority. But a great event and had a lot of fun.
What 3 decks did you guys field?
We fielded Django, Quinlan, and then and Han Green specifically, because that's kind of my specialty. So if we were going to take Han, we were either going to give Han Yellow to Michael Conroe, or if we decided on Han Green, it was going to be me playing it. So we decided on Han Green, and then Ryan Conroe played Django, and Michael played Quinlan, which he continued to play all the way till Richmond, and he did really well.
And I had the pleasure of calling several of Michael's games. And I can tell you on top of that, for whatever reason, Quinlan community was down in the dumps this week, thinking they can't beat Kira and can't beat Ray. And, that hasn't been my experience. I think those are kind of evenish matchups, to be honest with you. But I pointed actually to Michael's VOD against Kira. And it's against a great player, Craw. I've known over a long time, since Destiny. But, I think he played very, very well. And there are lines there. That's not a hopeless matchup for Quinlan. Quinlan doesn't have hopeless matchups. That's not how that deck works.
Yeah, and I will say that our team did a lot of that matchup internal testing. Quinlan, because one of our other teammates that Ryan mentioned, Andrew, is just an expert with Kira. So we had a lot of testing up until Richmond, where we were running that matchup. Sometimes it was Kira. It was usually Kira ECL, but it's still. I mean, some of the play patterns are similar, right? So
I would argue Kira ECL is probably better into Quinlan than Data Vault.
Yeah,
in some aspects.
That's actually
in some aspects.
So, quick plug: we're gonna have a Kira masterclass out before Minnesota, and it will be Wu and Tada teaching it. I mean, I don't think I would have anybody teach a Kira masterclass other than Wu. But I think the ECL versus 30 versus Data Vault is very interesting, because it is not the case that Kira Data Vault is better into all matchups.
I agree with that.
I mean, I play Sabine. I would much rather play a Kira Data Vault than ECL 100% of the time, because the threat of the ECL makes you have to do, respect it in a way that Data Vault, what they're going to do on 5. But I think they're all excellent decks. I mean, I think on Quinlan I would rather have ECL myself, but I'd be interested on the thoughts and the testing there, too. But, with Quinlan you usually have a little bit better way to kill the thing after ECL, and the health sucks. Quinlan doesn't like doing that extra 8 damage. I mean, the deck is very fine-tuned to kind of end where it ends, but I don't think it's a hopeless matchup anyway. I mean, I think that typically, there's luck involved in every CCG. Anybody who tells you that there's not is either incompetent or doesn't know what they're doing. I mean, the best players can brick. Every deck can brick. I brick Kylo Red, and that's really hard to do. But
Sabine does Sabine things.
Sabine does Sabine things.
Has someone,
probably has the easiest kind of God Whirl combo of the decks. But Sabine is also, I think, one of the most very difficult decks to pilot very well, because you don't always have the perfect curve, that you want, that ends.
Well, that's always an interesting thought process when you're diagnosing decks in the meta is the floor versus the ceiling, and we've talked about the Kira 30 or the Kira Data Vault versus like Sabine floor, which one has a lower floor that's more entry friendly, and I think against a lot of people, Sabine has a higher floor than Kira. I think Kira Data Vault has a lower floor than just because of the raw power of the cards. You're playing just a bunch of raw, powerful blue-green cards, and if the opponent doesn't really know how to play against it or is not comfortable, going turn one Pershing into Super Laser Tech or resupply into Kira Flip Barrage into Vader like a lot of people just can't handle what's going on there.
Absolutely. And Kira's a great deck, but we'll have that masterclass coming up. But, I mean, that was actually a very excellent match for both players there. I think actually Craw played very well, too. But when you talk to Mikael, I mean, commend him on his use of Force Throw, particularly without Force, because he was doing that very well, throughout. And I think actually Mickey happened to call one of his matches, who's a big Quinlan guy, and, one of the original architects. But I called a couple, too, and I thought he played well. The final.
I will quote Mikael on this. I will quote Mikael on Quinlan, and he says, "Quinlan sucks." I hear this all the time. We hear nothing but that. He just hates that deck, but he plays it
and well.
Yeah, it's kind of like a running joke all the way from BIATL. Is like he was Quinlan was forced upon him at BIATL, and he wasn't really necessarily the strongest of the decks. So yeah.
Well,
he was not. He wasn't excited about it, and then he just since BIATL, he's 23-3-3. It's like, okay, man.
Yeah, he's still saying this sucks.
Yeah, no, and shout out to Carlos, who actually retired undefeated from the Chicago PQ on Quinlan yesterday.
Wow.
Him and his brother both top four. We had, Wisconsin had 3 of the top 4 of the Chicago PQ, and the winner, Nick, who's a great guy from Madison, and I really love to see him win, because he's one of those guys that really kind of had the stream bug, where every time, you'd play him, normally, not with a camera. I mean, he was on point, and then, really just had bad luck or whatever when he was on feature table. But, I mean, he crushed the final and actually has his bye now. So, all of those guys. But Carlos is a heck of a Quinlan player that I have to deal with at basically any event in Wisconsin. So, I have to have a plan for beating him. And it's a tough deck. Quinlan mirrors are kind of miserable. That is a true statement. So, and speaking of favored, if you sit across from Wu, make sure to tell him that you feel favored into Kira, and see what his reaction is. All right.
I hear it from Andrew all the time. We hear, I think Kira's favored into this. We hear it all the time.
Yeah. Well, the running joke is everybody thinks that people keep telling Wu that everything is favored into Kira, like in tech decks, and there's a couple of people that made videos saying this beats Kira. Well, it kind of depends who's the pilot.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get going here with some SWU. What are you bringing to the table, DeGreasy?
So I have Quinlan. I'm sorry, not we talk about Quinlan. I have Raid Data Vault. There are a couple of changes that from the list from Leo. There's a couple of changes in here. It is one being it's not 62 cards. So that is one.
So
Michael went ahead
64.
and. Yeah, exactly. Michael went ahead and made sure to berate me about, because I was messing around with it this weekend at a showdown, and I just copied it, and he berate me about playing 62 cards and not just 60, but it's just kind of what it is.
That was actually a joke when Data Vault was released, was that now Europeans are going to have to find 63 cards. But...
we all joked about it, and then Josh goes ahead and he's like, joke's on you, I'm doing this. It's like,
what's his?
I don't know what's going on over there. I don't know if he's just skill gapping people or
he's a pro from many games. So
yeah, I know he's very good, and I've talked to him before. But man, it is wild.
All right, so Ray Data Vault. I have actually not played this. I'm playing Kaz Red. Well, it's not Tarkentown though. It's Spice Mines.
Okay.
Let me update my overlay here. But I actually think this is on the border of a meta deck. I mean, it's a good deck, for sure. And
It plays
it is
well,
way
not this one.
underplayed
It
for how
plays
strong
tonight,
it can
right?
be. You know, I love my Blonde Sabine aficionados, but it's not really close to me, you know, between Kazred and Sabine Yellow as to which one I want to be if I'm trying to do an aggro wide strategy. But we'll see. All right, so we'll flip a coin for initiative. Call later night, later dark, heads or tails, white or black.
Let's go black.
It is, so you have the initiative.
All right. I will have initiative. Not entirely sure how this is going to go on
That
my
is
side.
an easy dish.
I'm going to go with these. I don't think these are going to be particularly great. All right. This will be an interesting series of cards.
They're cards that's in your deck. What can happen?
They are in my deck. That is a true statement.
All right. Good luck.
All
Have
right,
fun.
good to go. You as well. I will play a C3PO and I will name 3. And that is certainly not a 3.
I smell Luke when you say it that way. I will play black one.
I'm gonna sadly claim here and hope that I draw something good.
And pass.
Alright. That is not it.
Not it.
Not it at all. Alright. Good.
Yep.
Alright, I'll go ahead and attack your base for 1, and I will say 3. That is also not a 3.
Yeah, it always stings when like C3PO gets like 3 blind draws, you know, and they all hit and draw a card. You know,
Yeah.
it's a different thing when, you know, they do know what the card is. I mean, that was set up. But if they're just guessing and it's not a deck that's like super heavy in one card number, it is demoralizing as the opponent. I hit you for 2. 2 damage.
Yeah. Should be viewable. Yeah.
Yep, and I'll
good.
move my
Seems
dial
good.
back a little bit.
Sounds good. I will play an Akbar and do nothing with him because he can't shoot 0.
Can he hit C3PO? I think he might be able to hit C3PO if you want to do that.
I can, but I will not. I will actually choose not to, unless it heals my base.
I'll play Falcon. This is set for Falcon.
Okay, I will claim.
And I will pass.
Get rid of that. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and I'll attack your base with C3PO, and I will name 3. That is not a 3.
All right.
Slow and steady.
We will deploy Kaz onto the Millennium Falcon.
That is pretty good. I will activate Ray on Akbar, giving him +1.
Oh! You know, I smell a trap.
I'm not playing yellow. I had to play.
Spend 3 for the other Falcon.
There's a lot going on up there. I will attack your base for 2 with Akbar, and I'll heal 1.
4. We're going to hit your base for 7. with the Kaz piloted Falcon. We will blank.
It's a lot.
We will blank the bounty Falcon. Not the bounty, the cost. The one that has a maintenance cost, the Falcon tax. We're doing Falcon tax evasion. That's all we're doing.
Don't tell the feds. I will play Sundari Peacekeeper.
All right. We will spend my last resource for heroic sacrifice on Falcon from set 1.
5 from recursive.
So that's going to be 5, and I draw a card.
Yep. I will claim.
We are going to play C-3PO's bro, R2-D2, from set 4 as a pilot on the black one.
Okay.
And he will hit you for another 4. Taking
so
you
2.
What, 17?
3, 4. 17, that is correct.
Just like Bon Jovi, we're halfway there.
Yeah, I will claim. Hopefully I can draw something here. Not quite.
Yeah, I mean, step 1 is always, against a deck that has any blue in it, is having something to deploy Kaz onto.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, the ideal place to deploy him, I think, is on what he's on, which is the set 4 Falcon. But usually you end up on the set 1 Falcon, just because if they're trying to play control in the space arena, they've killed all the other units that don't come in ready on 4.
Right.
Samuel Lyons in the chat says, have you tried guessing 3?
Yeah, right. I will play Traitorous on your black one.
All right.
I actually have a black one I can put in here.
We will attack with the tax evasion Falcon.
That is 3. So
20.
Go to 5. Okay. And black one is currently at 4, correct?
Yeah, black one swings for 4, but doesn't do anything unless you have a Poe, which seems unlikely.
Yeah.
But it could happen. The Poe upgrade
You
counts.
never know.
And I think
That's
that deck
true.
runs Poe upgrade, set 4 Poe, right?
No, not quite. I will attack your evasive Falcon and kill it.
You're talking the tax evasive.
Old Falcon. Yeah.
Okay. I hear you clucking. Yes, it has 1 health left. It's unfortunate. Put your base for 7. Take you 27.
What? 5, 6, and 7. Alright. I will attack your base with Sundari Peacekeeper, and I will restore 2. So I'll hit you for 3.
Cassian from the row.
That's a good one. I will attack your base for 2, and I will heal 1.
Base for 3.
Let's see.
27.
So that's 1, 2, 3. Another dice here. There we go. Let's see. The have to claim.
You do. I will pass. But I think I had to play Cassian there rather than nothing, because
Yeah.
it puts you back into check, right? Because if I just claim with Falcon, you probably can't remove my big Falcon with what you have left. No resources in there, but you're going to heal 3 with Akbar and Sundari, is what I was thinking.
Yeah. And it's not the most enjoyable situation, I'll say that.
Right. No, the strength of Kaz Red is putting decks in check very quickly. I have no problem saying that.
Let's see.
Ryan Staniszewski says swoopin'. Sunday and Sea Raptor. Sea Raptor, shout out to Wes. Partner in coverage.
I have to attack Cassian and heal 2. There's nothing I can really do right now.
Right, and I do, in fact, have Heroic Sacrifice for 9.
All right, and we'll go next game.
So, it does not always go that smoothly, but that is, my first hand was complete trash. It did not have a ship, and that's not what you want at all for Kaz. My post mulligan hand was straight fire. So.
Yeah, that one was. I was trying to find a blue leader, and we did not find a blue leader. So.
And Sunny attended
this one, I think,
in Europe, right?
Yes, I did.
I think the number 9 was a Kaz red, on thermal.
Yeah, I was going to mention that while you're playing. Yeah, there was a Kaz red player that performed extremely well, 9th place, and it was a clean top cut actually there. So, actually, yeah, it was a clean top cut in the sense that all the X2s made it, and then one X2-1 that had a tie made it, and then this player that was 9th had that same record. So it was very close to him making top cut as well.
Right.
There it is.
Yeah, these are. And since we're playing for funsies, I'll just tell people what I'm sideboarding. Coming in would be breaking in because Sentinels. And then I'm also going to bring in Sanctioner Shuttle.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think I have a whole lot for this matchup. I mean, this is probably better than Fell the Dragon against your deck. His Rivals Fall and a 3rd Traitorous.
Yeah, I think you want Fell. So, the other consideration would be bringing in the Fangs for Traitorous. But, I mean, oftentimes the unit I'm trying to protect is the Kaz deployed unit, right? So, which can't be Traitorous. People do need to be conscious of that. There's many. Most of the leaders that deploy onto a ship make that unit a leader unit.
So one thing I'm not a huge fan of is bringing in a card to counter only like one side deck card.
I don't know how good like Fell is in this matchup because he plays. I know he plays upgrades, but it's like, is Fell actually good if he goes wide and never upgrades anything? Then Fell basically doesn't do anything.
Yeah, I mean, so Fell
get a feeler.
Yeah, Fell is looking for Han on a Falcon because I mean Kaz should be playing Han on a Falcon.
But, I guess that's fair.
That's really it. I mean, I can tell you that if I would have saw a Jedi Saber out of you in Game 1, I absolutely would have brought in the Fangs because I agree with Sunny. I mean, at that point, ground upgrades are actually a good way to get Kaz. So if I'm aware that exists. I probably am going to bring in the upgrade removal. It is nice. I mean, the thing about Traitorous, and it's all over the place right now, right?
Oh, yes.
But when you play Traitorous, you're kind of usually hinging the match on whether they have upgrade removal immediate there. Not if they don't have any resources, but if you play Traitorous onto a ready unit and they immediately respond with Confiscate, it's very, very difficult to win with any deck.
Yeah, it's pretty much a blowout.
Right.
Yeah, because they can still do their whole turn after confiscating.
Right. So I do think that a lot of green decks need to be running it, but there's definitely players that don't use Traitorous well.
Yeah, I love Traitorous as a card. I loved it. I used to play Vader, and I love that card in Vader. If they could give us some 5s, that would be great. But
you're talking about set 1 Vader, my boy, my deck.
Oh, dude, that's what I top aided May the 4th in Richmond with. That's my baby. I love that.
That's maybe where I cut you. Yeah, no, that I know.
Yeah, I love that deck. That's my favorite leader, and I played it. I got $30 Taco Bell bet to play it in Richmond, and my list was a little different, not quite as good. And then I talked to George there. He and I had talked about his list, and we were talking about the data vault, potential inconsistencies, and we were both on resupply carrier. I didn't play resupply carrier in Richmond because I was playing it in 33, the data vault version. and I was like, yeah, I just couldn't figure out what was. It was so inconsistent, and I couldn't bring myself to play that version. And he was telling me, he's like, prepare for takeoff was the glue card that solved that problem for him. And I was like, when like we talked about it, I was like, that just makes so much sense.
All right, and I'll just tease that we have another Mastercast also being recorded with George the Hulk. And I will not tell you guys what it is, but it is something that has had 2 very significant performances, and it's going to be a great one for deck builders because that's really what I want to get out there. I'm a deck builder myself. I think George's Vader list. He made my day when he told me he was playing Vader Green. The downside of covering both sectors in the regional is I'm disqualified from trying to win with Vader, which is probably what I would have done had I went to Denver. But it was nice seeing such a great player carrying up Vader Green. But for the Chicago PQ, Sabine winning the Richmond sector and then Sabine winning Leo is not a good look for a Vader Green deck. It's just not.
Yeah, that's always been the issue. Are you going to be playing in Minneapolis?
I'm not.
Loopy?
So I cannot
Are
win that
you?
way. I'm definitely not going to be playing because I'm going to be covering the whole thing.
You're covering the whole thing. Okay, yeah, that's
We have to hope that the showcase off the prize tickets isn't crazy at Galactics at the World Championships. So.
All right.
Good
Good
to
luck.
go.
Have fun.
You as well. I will play an R2D2, and I will bottom this card.
See, and if I would have known you're a Vader player, there's a I love Vader Green Mirrors. So
I love playing Vader. I will go ahead and put an experience counter on R2.
I will claim.
I will pass.
And the initiative token will go through the internet and become a late night one. I will get you, Ryan, a late night token next time I see you.
Absolutely, appreciate it.
I hope I got one for Sunny.
Oh yeah, I have one already. I thought, Ryan, you had one already.
Nope, I've never gotten one. I've never gotten
one. You didn't get to play against Tony in the tournament, or maybe you just wasn't given one at the time.
No, yeah. I've never played Tony in a tournament.
Gotcha. Makes sense. Yeah. So I got mine, Loopy, from Platform when I played him in one of the store showdowns in Set 1 season. And I've had it ever since.
Yeah, well, very good. Definitely glad to have that ever used by their... Actually, both players at the last Destiny Worlds were using late night tokens. Cool, Samuel Lyons says, I'm probably pre-locking Vader for Galactic. Why not? And Barry Everson talks about having SWU on the table basically any night a week. Isn't that cool? I think that's cool too. I like the Sunday Fun Day stream. We might do this again sometime. All right, 2 damage to your base with Anakin Interceptor, which is what that ship is, to the extent that you don't know.
Yeah. No, you're good. You're good. All right, I will go ahead and let's see. Yeah, let's go ahead and let's activate Ray. Give another +1 to R2.
Play a dilapidated snowspeeder.
It's the one that deals 4 to itself, right? 3.
3 or
do you have
in Hantu 5?
Do you have what's the is it Frisk? No, it's not Frisk, it's Biggs. That's the one. Biggs with all the craziness that can go on. And so it's a 3/5 right now?
Yeah, well it's a 3/7 with 3 damage, so it is 4 remaining health.
Gotcha. I will attack the speeder and I'll use R2's effects. And I will keep that on top. So he takes 3. I will go ahead and play C3PO, and I will name 2 and show you a mom.
Yep. So, against a good player, that's familiar with Biggs plus Speeder, I mean, it's kind of like a ground sentinel, because it's really risky to
let that go.
To make it so you can't kill it with an action, which is one of the reasons I can. And you'd be surprised how many decks the right line is Kaz on a ground unit, because people aren't thinking about that. But they're ground vehicles, folks. We are going to not do that. We're going to make the speeder lose its abilities so that we can heroic sacrifice and do 5 damage to your base. Draw a card.
5 damage. Take 5. And it has 2 life left? Or 1 life? 1 life
It has
left,
1
if I
life
remember
left.
correctly. 1 life.
Oh, that's a pretty cool interaction.
Oh, with
Let's
Biggs.
go ahead and... Oh, are you looking up the Biggs interaction?
Oh, yeah.
I will attack the speeder with R2, and I'll use his effect.
Yes. Ask anybody
And
who's
I
played
will
against my
leave that
Han
there.
Green deck with Sabine how fun that is.
Yeah.
We are... You still have all your research left. We're going to attack you for 2.
Take 2, go to 4. I will go ahead and... Let's see, do this.
Alright.
I'll go ahead and activate Ray and put 1 on C3PO.
For everybody who's joining us, a little in, we got quite a few people watching now. We're here with Team Sekrit, who's a newer competitive team that's had great results. And we're in game 2 of a best of 3 between Decreasy piloting Ray Data Vault and I'm on Kaz Red. Alright, so you gave him a thing. Which actually makes me, I'm kind of talking through more strategy than I should, but I want more people to play Kaz. This one resource makes me feel better that you don't have takedown.
Yeah.
We were talking about Fel with sideboarding, but you should play every copy of takedown
I'll go ahead
against Kaz for sure.
I'll attack your base for 2, and I'll name 1 and show you a clone deserter.
So I think I'm actually on 2, right? Because R2 attacked the speeder twice.
Correct.
I had marked 1 because I thought you were attacking with C3PO and you buffed him instead. Alright. We will
yeah.
deploy Kaz onto the Falcon.
I will entrench your Falcon.
Yeah, that's annoying. So, going back to what we talked about in sideboarding, if there's a game 3, now I will bring in the Fang Fighter now that I know he has entrenched for sure. This clone trooper will be entrenched.
Sure.
Well, you're probably not playing into the Space Arena anytime soon. I will claim.
I'll play the clone deserter that you know about, and I will pass.
Okay, so what do you all have down there? It's
I have a C3PO, a clone deserter. It's a 2/3 with restore 1 and a bounty that you draw a card, and then I've got your entrenched guy.
I like drawing cards.
Drawing cards is one of the great things. Are you paying for Falcon?
Yeah, I can't evade the tax.
You can always bounce it back to your hand.
We're going to play Dilapidated Ski Speeder into the ground right now.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and... I don't like both of these lines. So you have 1 resource open, is that correct?
Indeed.
Okay. Let's go ahead and I'll start with attacking your base for 2, and I'll name 3 with C3PO and miss.
What does that mean? I'll hit your base for 2.
Yep. 1 and 2. I will attack your base for 2 and restore 1.
I will play Biggs onto the speeder.
So he is now a...
So now he is a 5/8 with 3 damage and grit. So he's hitting for 8.
I will fell the dragon.
I thought that's what it
Speeder.
was. I actually thought about changing my line based upon your line. Because,
Yeah.
when you didn't attack C-3PO into it, and you had respected it before. But I think it's still helpful. Something else bad would happen if I didn't do that. I would claim.
I'll use Ray to give the clone deserter +1, and then I will pass.
Yeah, just because you know something might be coming doesn't mean that it's not the right thing to do it.
I agree. Because you have to make them have it sometimes.
Right. Do you guys ever bluff playing Star Wars Unlimited?
I do.
I do too.
You just got to make them have it
Right.
sometimes. Like I said, it's if they have it, you play it. You knew they had it, but sometimes it's you need to make them, especially when you're playing. The difference between playing for the win and playing to survive.
Woo, my friend in the chat says his Darth Vader unit killed about 14 Mon Mothmas yesterday. Doesn't surprise me. Does not surprise me.
Yeah, that's true.
I
Darth
mean, I think
Vader's,
that Vader would
good at
relatively
that.
easily beat Mon Mothma in a fight. Am I wrong about that?
I don't think there's much of a fight to be had on that one.
Surprised she hits for 1. All right, I will attack your base for 4 with Han Solo.
Take 4. Let's go ahead and
Congrats to Wu on his PQ win yesterday. I said that in chat, but great player.
congrats. Let's go ahead and I'll use Ray to give C-3PO another experience.
They're saying Taxman needs to collect. Yes, my Falcon might have to pay the tax. That is true. I said, with Kaz, it's very sad when you have to pay the tax.
Taxman coming in.
Taxman cometh. I will play a Cartel Turncoat, which is safer than usual,
Okay.
given the 9 attack unit that can't do anything other than hit other space units.
I will actually. So I'm going to use 3. I'm going to ambush with Blue Leader to kill your
Yeah.
turncoat, and then I'm going to move it to the ground with 2 experience.
Sometimes they got the answers. I did that a bunch yesterday too. I love Blue Leader. In fact, I also I
Then
have 3
draw the
Blue Leader
card.
prestiges. I really like that card art too.
It's gorgeous.
Claim.
Oh yeah, Blue Leader is one of the best procedures.
I will flip Ray, and she's going to attack your base for 3. She gets the counter. I heal 3. Clone Deserter is going to attack for 3. I'm going to heal 1, so it's a 4 total. And then 3 more from C-3PO, and I'm going to name 3. And it was not 3. And I'll pass after that.
So I think I'm at 15. All right, let's go to game 3.
Okay.
Yeah, Trench is definitely a good card against me.
And
Yeah,
Trench.
now we know that the Saving Thing Fighter is for sure worth it. Now that he has both
See,
entrenched and
you
Yeah.
slipped Sonny a 20 to talk him into outside running in the future.
Yeah.
It's like the team psyops.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Dude, you want to talk about psyops? Apparently, Wu psyops Michael. That's from what I've heard.
I don't know.
To play some Quinlan.
So there's this contingent of people that are in this community that think KTOD somehow has psyops, which amuses the hell out of me. But
So he went ahead and he went ahead and told Andrew for Michael to play Quinlan. So he went ahead and psyopsed him there.
there we go.
Now, whether that's what happened.
Psyops him into that 33-3 record.
But
Yeah,
as we already
23-3.
established,
With
Quinlan
23-3
sucks,
record.
and everything is favored.
Yeah,
in
exactly.
Kuro. So that is all.
Yep, that's true. That makes sense. Are you playing in any other PQs this season or no?
I cannot. No. So I was going to. It makes me very sad too. So we have a family thing that was unexpected. We have to go to Florida next week, which is the Wisconsin PQ.
Oh wow.
Darn.
It's something that we have to do.
I gotcha.
So that that's there. But I will be at Minnesota calling matches, along with we're gonna have great coverage for the Minnesota Regional. Sea Raptors planning to come and McClunky is planning to come, and we're all working together.
That's awesome.
Great.
It's gonna be a good day for the
Yeah,
day.
our entire team yeah, most of our team will be there. At least like 6 or 7 of our team
I
will
think
be there.
Josh is not.
Who is your entire team? Who are the members? The competitive team.
So we have Ryan DeCreasy, myself, from the stream, and then we have the Conroe brothers, Ryan and Michael Conroe, and then Andrew Strouch, and Josh Everly as well. So Josh Everly is not going to be able to make it. And, the rest of us will be. Brian is another member. He's not going to be able to make it. So, but at least 6 of us should be there.
Do you know if Duncan's going or not?
Yes, Duncan is going to be able to make it as well. Yeah,
Okay,
and
yeah.
Duncan Howard is a really good basketball player. He's in the PQ in North Carolina with it, so he should be there as well.
I know that Duncan topped one of the PKs that I covered for sure.
Yeah, he topped. He has 2 top 4s and then a win. And he made a real significant run at Richmond as well. He was, I believe, 7-0, and then went 7-1, and then day 2 got a lot of ties, unfortunately, or draws, but he started off fantastic. I don't think he lost a single game, not even match, until round 8 of day 1.
Yeah, and Michael went with a clean sheet all the way to the final, which is not that easy to do.
Yeah.
It's more common now because intentional draws exist. So, I mean, you have a lot of people that don't lose in the last couple of rounds because once.
Well, the funny thing about that is that was in the finals was his first loss since Atlanta, since the Atlanta team tournament, because he in the singles for the 6K went undefeated in that. He didn't play in the top 16 because his wife's birthday was that Sunday, so he had to go home. But he was undefeated in that event at 5-0-2.
Quinlan sucks
because he drew the last. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So,
Bill played very good to be into Quinlan, but I mean, Michael also didn't draw what he needed to win that. So.
Yeah. So, all right.
Ready when you are. Have fun. Let's.
You as well.
Settle this one. I do have initiative. I will play a fireball. Fireball.
Fire. I will play Mom, and let's see what I can find. 3, 4, 5.
We will cause Fireball to lose its abilities in Clan.
I will find another Mom.
It's like non-production over there.
Yeah, and I'll pass.
Borrow one of Wu's Vaders to, do some senatorial cleaning.
Let's see here. Oh goodness, this is not particularly great on my side.
That's what we like to hear, my friend.
Oh, my hand is so bad.
The double Mothma.
This hand is
I
so
hope you
bad.
drew the third Mothma because why not have trip Mothmas?
Yeah, right. All right.
Somewhere Falafel is smiling now that Mon Mothma has become a staple metal card.
I love this card. I like this card a little too much. In all honesty.
I was
playing Obi-Wan.
That is a good.
No, and I was playing an Obi-Wan last set, and I loved it.
And it's so good with Bright Hope. Which is a card I don't want you to find either. So I'd rather have you find Bright Hope than Entrenched. You can find Bright Hope after you entrench me, then it's okay. All right.
What if I entrench my Bright Hope?
That's less okay. All right. We are going to hit you for 3. That's what we're going to do.
Take it. All right. This is I'm gonna play R2D2. Look at the top card. I'm not really keen on this card existing in my hand, so we're gonna get rid of that one.
Good?
Yeah, I put it on the bottom.
I thought you were deciding.
You're good.
Alright.
No, you're
I
fine.
am going to blank Fireball and play a Stolen AT Hauler.
That's a good one.
Sea Raptor
Actually-
asks you to stay high at the coverage booth. Sunny D in the chat.
I will actually claim here.
I did not know Wes at all till a couple of weeks ago, but
I'll
the week
claim.
before Denver, but we've become pretty good friends, and certainly grateful to him for all his expertise he adds. You know, he's an engineer, and it shows. Wes.
Yep. All right. Let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
I will take down your Stolen AT Hauler.
Yep. So it's in my discard pile right now.
Yep.
We'll blink. Actually, is that how I want to do that? No, I don't. I want to just deploy Chasm to Fireball.
Okay. I'll attack your base for 1 with R2, and I will bottom this card.
I will play Falcon.
And you have 2 left, or you have 1
I
left,
have 1.
correct? Okay. I will attack your base with Mom for 1.
To 2. I'll play R2D2 on the Falcon. Which is an extremely relevant card right now.
Yeah, I will pass.
We'll pass. Alright, so Heroic Sacrifice does work with the unit pilot, Kaz's piloting. Trench Run does not. At least, I mean, it still works. You can just take the damage from the downside. But it doesn't blink it the same way. But I will attack with Heroic Sacrifice for 8. I will blink both Fireball and the Falcon on attack, and I'll draw a card.
5, 6, 7, 8. I will play the Stolen AT Hauler that I killed earlier.
Right. It's a very Imperial looking Stolen AT Hauler.
Yeah, I
We'll
gotcha.
attack your
We'll do
base
this.
for 4 with the Tax Evasion Falcon, as we've come to know it.
Yep. I will claim.
Oh, pass.
Okay. How are we gonna do this?
Hopefully you're not, but that's just me.
This is a turn, so this can go really bad for me or not. But I think the way that I'm winning this game is doing something like this. Okay.
Yeah, and the way you said that is right, too, because, I mean, you're not in the position you want to be at this point. Last game is the position you want to be. But, I mean,
Yeah.
one thing you always got to do is play to what your out is.
I think this is how I have to try and win this game. And hope that I don't get blown out and steal your Falcon.
How about a Disabling Fangfighter? Stick
Yep.
back.
That is what I needed to not have. Alright. That is the worst situation. Okay, I can't
We
erase
were
this,
talking
but
about
I
exactly
can.
that. I mean, I probably would have won game 2, but for your psyops, which you're highly effective at.
We stopped at one game, but we couldn't stop at the last game.
Yeah. Let's attack the Falcon with this for 4.
Yeah, Damien in the chat is thinking that that's not how Kazada interacts with attack abilities. I am fairly confident from people that are much better at rules than me that heroic sacrifice on Kaz's unit works.
What is? I just have. Oh, I can just pull up Kaz and read him.
Yeah, what did you attack with the AT?
The AT hauler. Your Han. Your sorry, your Falcon.
My Falcon, so it takes 4.
Yes.
You take 4 as well.
So it's... Yes, he's got 4. Where's Kaz?
You're at 15. I'm going to Han Solo pilot the Falcon, and I'm going to kill the AT hauler.
Oh lord. Oh goodness. Yep, that's not good. But that's kind of what I have to do right now. Okay.
So now it is.
Go ahead and attack with R2. Yeah, I'll attack you with R2 for 1. And bottom that card.
I will play the AT hauler.
I will attack you for 1.
Alright, I will attack with Kazada for 6. I will blank the Falcon, the AT hauler.
Yep. Take that. I will
blank
claim
the Fang too, just in case the Fang's abilities are bothering you.
Sure. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I got you, buddy.
Thanks. This sort of solves not really my problems. We're kind of here. Alright, how big is this? This is 3, 4, 5, 6.
Which
6.
do you want to know?
You're a Falcon, I'm just counting it, so it's 4, has 3 life left right now.
It is
Or 4 life. 4 life
it is
left.
a 6, 8 with 4 damage on it.
4 damage on it. Oh boy, these are some problems. Let's go ahead. Let's see, 20. This should be a 5. Sorry. Yeah, I don't really have a great thing to do here. But I can try and soak up some of this with a Bright Hope. And I will bounce Mom to draw a card.
A shocking choice of what card to put up bounce.
Yeah.
We will bravely pilot the Falcon into the Bright Hope.
Okay.
All of that stuff dies.
I will entrench your fireball with Kaz on it.
I will spend. Thank you for that. It's been too long.
Do you have
since
another?
I've entrenched.
do you have another disabling fake fire?
No, but I have a Han Solo to attack you for 6 with the AT.
So much. Yeah. All right. So 4, 5, 6. I will flip Ray.
So that's 27, right? We'll attack for 3 with the Fang.
Yep.
To 30.
Yep. And I will attack your base for 3 and heal 3. Ray.
Back to 27. claim.
I'll attack you for 1 with R2. Look at the top card. We'll bottom that, and I'll pass.
All right. Good night. See you after. Oh man, I got all the things now.
That's... Okay.
But on initiative, I attack you for 6 to 33.
Oh, I just can't math. Yeah. Sorry, my brain. Yeah.
you're good. I didn't want
My
you to
brain,
think
I'm
too
like,
hard. But
no, my brain
I mean,
just
but
didn't even think about
it was
just 6.
it was claiming didn't do much either.
So much.
Because then you don't have the 3 from Ray, and then you have to kill both the
Yeah.
anti-hauler and the Fang Fighter in the same action, and I don't know what card does that. I suppose a Bright Hope.
It was.
Unless you have a Sentinel, yeah.
You need a
We
Sentinel.
were close to stabilizing.
But I actually drew another Fang Fighter and another Han. So that was in good shape.
Great.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I feel good
Yeah,
about that. I mean, I am continually puzzled as to the non-play of Kaz Red and Kaz Blue. Actually, Kaz Blue is a very good deck too. But I do think it's a very good one. And
Yeah,
Yeah,
it can
Card
get out of control.
because it has some of the best early drops that you can have in the game.
oh yeah,
With that
I am
overshadowed,
jealous of Corporate Defense Shuttle. I mean, because that is a great
Yeah.
card.
I also like Cassian on a lot of these ships. Like you can draw cards off Cassian against especially right now with Ray existing. There's so many cards in that deck that are less than 3. You just attack and draw cards. L3 is also a criminally underplayed card as a card itself.
Oh, the upgrade L3, the upgrades. So
Yeah.
L3 is like the
Yeah,
anti-Luke, right?
3 is so fun. I love that card.
Luke upgrade.
Yeah.
What you
You
want
just-
to do
it's-
is, you want to play it as a pilot, and then it goes to the ground. But L3 is the other way, right? So it's a 3/3 that when it dies,
Right.
it becomes a pilot.
Yeah, and it's really good into Sabine type decks where you've got say something in the air. And we were actually messing around today. Michael was playing Luke set 4 with Security Complex, and there's some kind of fun things you can do with L3 bouncing it onto your ships with Obi-Wan's Aether Sprite eventually, or you can bravado your Luke to hit for a ton with Trench Run, etc. It's a pretty fun deck. So
Let me just on the sideboard for a second, and then we'll swap this around.
yeah, you're good.
So, what do you think about the results this weekend, guys? That you saw. I know you guys watch that kind of stuff.
I thought it was all over the place. It's hard to have just one takeaway because we saw so many different things win this weekend in the PQs.
It was all over the place. It was kind of crazy. I think the craziest one I saw was they just talked about. I think there was something Data Vault. I think I saw. Was it Han 4 Data Vault? No.
No, you're talking about Han
There was
4
a full Data Vault, and there was
You're
a
talking
smaller
about-
Data Vault had one.
Because there was an odd Han Lake Country that
I saw that.
went
That
to
was
Top Gun
in the top
Chicago.
8. I did see that.
Cool deck. We were talking about that.
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
I like Han Lake Country.
I think he's a very interesting leader. I don't know what I would put in that type of a deck. I don't have the brain power.
I'm going to take a guess that you're going to put cards with an odd cost in that deck.
That's really good. That's a really good assumption.
And then I'm also
There's
gonna
some-
say
there's some
that you're
even
gonna
ones.
put C-3PO despite being a 2 into that deck. And you're going to miss
Dude,
a lot less than
C3.
you did today because you really had bad luck. as I saw.
K1 was pretty bad. K1 was pretty bad. But if I can go ahead and this deck's really interesting.
I want you to talk
the
about
Ray.
because I got a D sideboard here.
Yeah. So the Ray deck feels. So I started messing around with it this weekend just to kind of get an idea of what it's doing, and it feels in certain you can grind with a lot of matchups, and the space decks that feels like a really big problem at times. This type of deck feels Kaz specifically feels kind of rough. Because if I don't have an entrench or I don't have a blue leader, it feels pretty bad. And I should have mulliganed to it, but I had mom in my hand, so I thought maybe it would be fine
And she
to
just found
dig
other
for it.
moms. You know, that's all.
Yeah, and I thought about on turn 2 going mom into mom, but I believe you played the AT hauler, and I had the takedown in my hand, and I wanted to take the AT hauler.
Yeah, and
which is probably maybe that's not correct.
I was expecting that when you claimed early, right? Because you had resources level.
Yeah.
So that usually means they're going to take down your AT hauler, which is the weakness of that card. For Kaz.
Yeah.
I mean, it's obviously got that weakness into other things too, but yeah, Kaz in particular, you can't blanket if it's their initiative in time.
Right, and I also don't want you to put. You're going into 4. I certainly don't want you to be piloting that. Like that thing is ginormous.
Right. Then he has 8 health.
Yeah, and it's really hard to take down. And I think maybe from there, it's possible I should have maybe I don't know, maybe not been as aggressive into the hunt. I had the Bright Hope in hand, and I thought about playing that over the takedown, but I felt like the turn I Traitorist, I had Bright Hope in hand, and I was debating on playing Bright Hope or going Traitorous, and I felt like if I can Traitorous your Falcon, I feel like I'm in a really good spot if you don't have the Disabling Fang Fighter.
Yeah, I think so too.
If you have it,
and I think it's also, you said it before, Ryan, playing to your outs. I mean, I think you needed Traitorous to work there, and that was really there. Bright Hope just stalls it a turn and gives me
and I
2
almost
more cards to draw Fate. Right.
Yeah, it was good on the next turn because I was able to find when I played the Bright Hope and bounced the Mom, I was searching for an Entrenched, and I drew the Entrenched off of the bounce on Mom, which lines up really well with the 4 and 2. So I can go ahead and entrench whatever you didn't attack with to kill.
Right.
And it was also really nice that you didn't attack with your leader because then I get to entrench the leader, not the Han.
Right.
So it kind of did me a favor by killing off your fire spray, or not your fire spray, the brain, the Falcon, and let me entrench your leader. But yeah, that's it was so much damage, especially with the heroic sacrifice early on, hitting for so much, and
and
you have constant gas.
And the biggest pump's actually trench run, and we didn't see that. I did draw.
Yeah.
I did draw at the turn that I think you Traitorous my fighter, so I couldn't cast trench run.
Gotcha.
But trench run is extremely strong for a pump. Plus 4 for 1 is a lot. It just has conditions, and you got to blink it before, right? So if the unit is already blinked, then trench run just does +4 because it cannot gain abilities. But if Kaz is the thing piloting it, he does take the damage from the discard if it applies.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. So I had in hand. I had also Ewing and Luke, and so I was obviously the 3. If I have 1 more life there, I think I can stabilize the game going forward. Maybe not because you drew trench run, so it's probably not that way because you have so many pumps. But if I can go ahead and I have to take down the Fel and all that, and if I can somehow stabilize, get past that turn, I think I can live. But we're just a little short.
All right,
we need a buff to Data Vault.
I am changing participant mat, so say goodbye to the Podameron participant mat, and let's see a new participant here on Late Night Live with Team Secret.
The way cooler one.
Here is our next participant, Sunny D. All right,
I need to step away for a few minutes to do something, so I will be muted.
And feel free to come back. And great game, dude. Enjoyed that.
Yeah, as well. Thank you.
It's funny that you're switching to this participant mat, but I'm playing the card that his mat showed. Poe, right?
Oh yeah, you are. All right.
I do not have Executor.
So this is going to be Han Green on Han Green, but it's not the same Han Green.
Yeah.
And Sonny's a very, very good Han Green player. Doing well. Han Green did win Chicago. Shout out to Nick, we were talking about a second ago. With Yellow Han Green. And he, actually I should say, he wanted me to thank, the the Han Green community, because he's one that does take less. And he had definitely seen the masterclass, and he had definitely, watched all of the stuff from Richmond.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun match. Having the two different Hans.
Yep.
Both in green, but different other color. Yeah, red and yellow, right? So.
And I did win the 1K in Milwaukee last Saturday with this deck.
Was it with the same build of it or a different build of it?
It was a little... So I made a couple of changes based on what happened there, because that was the first time I played at an event. But, I mean, I feel very good about the deck. I feel very good about the changes. I think I had run luck in the first game. And then I actually beat every meta match I had. I got blown out by a Legal Authority in a wedge deck, and by the Starship Thief, whatever his name is. Innovator.
Oh, the Panthorian Starship Thief? That's funny.
You can't play around everything. And I was not playing around Legal Authority or Pantoran Starship Sheath. But it can be tough when you go against, an opponent that has a deck that, isn't one of the ones that we really practice a lot. You gotta figure out what it does on the fly.
Yeah. One of the cool things here is the late night gaming token that we have matches the mat.
That is a beautiful late night gaming token. All right. Actually, what base is your Han on? Echo base, usually.
Echo base, yep.
Thematically correct.
Very much so.
I see some of the Han greens on Naboo nowadays.
I'm gonna chime in real quick.
Okay.
Command Center is the correct base. Just saying.
No way.
Command Center. That is the correct base.
So,
just saying.
For whatever reason, one of the best fun things to do with the Han Green community is talk about what base it should be, because it will get people going. It will get people
100% Command Center.
Ian,
he was there.
Ian Liga Pizza, is one to argue about bases, and he is a staunch Echo base guy. So somewhere Ian might be hopping in the chat, to crash our.
Oh well, Ian was playing Maz Kanata's Castle, and he was playing as Echo base defender too in his deck.
That's right. Well, maybe
so
I have him backwards on what he wants, but I know he has strong opinions. That's what I know for sure.
Yeah.
I brought that up with him, and he, went through. All right, and you're on Echo base. I'm gonna put myself on.
Yeah, I've always been on Echo base with Han Green.
Yeah, I think so too. It is the one that makes the most sense. That's where
Well,
right?
That's the point of the Command Center. That Han was at Command Center, so, but just aesthetically, it doesn't make as much sense, in my opinion.
Now, I do think that if you're playing Vader 30, that is the correct base, is you want Command Center. Though he didn't have actually very good luck in that trench, so I suppose I could look at that both ways. Where is my Han 2? It's right here. All right, and I'm on a green base. I'm actually on the Resistance base, and very amusingly, I do not own a hyperspace of Resistance headquarters because I brought so much carbon and not enough other packs. So this is a bordered base. I was actually surprised. We built the deck, and Diana told me, my wife, she told me that we don't have a hyperspace base. I'm like, we gotta have a hyperspace base. We did not. I will put myself in Moscow on Castle. I don't want to download the thing. All right. Should we flip for initiative? We'll flip your late night token.
So you want me to just flip it?
Yep. Later night, heads or tails, light or dark, and I'll call it.
Okay. You want to call it?
I will call heads.
Okay. Oh, it's a late night.
Well, I've just grabbed that across from your screen and I'll put it right there. And then I will pass. All right.
All right.
Have fun.
Alright, I will keep my hand. Interesting. Alright, ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll go ahead and use Han Effect. Put one down. Down.
I will play an extra dilapidated speeder.
Okay,
So that's 5 damage on it.
I'll tap 3. And bring out a Falcon.
Alright, I'll move my speeder to the other side. Keep your falcon where it is.
Oh, yeah. I couldn't see the right orientation here.
Claim.
Forget that.
You cannot know which way it is. I have to see.
Yeah. And I'll attack for 3.
Ouch.
I'm gonna pass. Put one down. Destroy one. Destroy that.
What came out of your row?
The Phoenix Squadron A-Wing?
3-2 A-Wing. Okay.
3-2, yes.
I spent for 1 for bigs.
Right, you put a bigs there. Alright, so what's the attack on Dilapidated with bigs now?
It's hitting for 10 right now.
Okay. Gotcha. I have got to waylay that.
Ryan Staniszewski. We have Polish in Wisconsin. Says in the chat that everybody playing Maz Eisley with Vader is wrong because he hates sand. Maybe.
Oh yeah, I totally agree with that.
What was your action?
I waylaid the bigs. Or, well, the Dilapidated with the bigs on it.
And we are going to actually just replay it with Han.
Okay. Sure. And I will attack for 3.
Pass.
And then you claimed.
Oh, I claimed. Excuse me.
Yeah, and then I'll pass. Okay. I will tap 1 to keep the Falcon in play.
Yeah, you can't evade the tax this time, Mr. Smuggler.
Yep, not this round.
Apparently, there's 2 Ryan Staniszewskis, one in Wisconsin, one in Michigan. The one in the chat is the Michigan.
Oh, that's...
Alright, I will hit your base for 3.
Alright, I take 3. Okay. And you have taken 6 total, right?
I should have, yes.
Yeah.
Missed. Correct.
Okay, makes sense. I'll go ahead and put a Han pilot on here and attack your base for 5.
2-11.
Yep.
Guess I'm not being aggressive. I'm playing Bright Hope. I'm bouncing the ski speeder. I'm drawing a card.
Drawing a card. Okay. I will claim the initiative.
I will pass.
Okay. Let's see. Bright Hope is blocking me there.
So, I mean, the ski speeder play is aggressive. It doesn't work all the time, but I mean, I think your only answer is Waylay in a typical Hungarian list. I don't know if you have any of the ambush boys or anything.
Yeah, we main deck confiscate, so that is an answer as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's Waylay and confiscate. Some decks main deck bamboozle still, so that would be an answer. But
or at least a stall. considering bigs will come back to hand.
Yeah, just all, but yeah. It's not a permanent answer, but okay. I will resource one.
And that's just the line I had available. I mean, really, where that line is good is Sabine. Because if Sabine plays into the space arena, and then isn't able to answer it, that game can be over really quickly. Five in Berto.
Yeah, I'm gonna bounce my Falcon, so I'll lose the Han pilot. Yep, and then let's see. Put this down. Ready to go. I will start with Han effect. Put one down.
That is to 6. Yes.
Yep, that will take me to 6.
We'll deploy my boy.
Okay. All right.
I did not think I could keep taking 5 in the space arena.
Yeah. So you blocked that at least. Yeah, I think you might have been able to take one more attack, but it'd been a little risky. Yeah, I'll deploy my Han as well. How many cards do you have in hand?
6.
I have 3. Okay.
Blue leader.
Okay.
When played first, ground arena.
Sure.
Han. 4 back.
Okay, so I take 5 on Han.
Yep.
You take 4 back. Okay. You spent all 5 for that.
I did.
Gotcha. Okay, I'll go ahead and attack your base for 4. Put a resource down.
15. I will clear your
Yep.
Han on Han violence.
Yep.
Taking 4 back. Hopefully what your 7 is Han unit, which gets a kill but doesn't feel good.
Yeah, let's see.
Which is why I took that line, right? I mean, losing your leader. Now, you kind of want Han Red leader to die in a weird way. And you can go back to the Han Red Blue Masterclass for why. But it's nice if he dies this turn. But getting a 6 health unit dead with Han Solo hurts.
Yeah, I am gonna play Han unit and then attack into Han leader.
Right.
But
All right, and I clan.
the clan. Okay, I will pass. I'm gonna destroy 2 resources. Destroy 1 Chewbacca and a stolen AT hauler.
I am back.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Game looks like it's going fun.
Yeah, no, not what I was. Well, this matchup is very fluid.
It's interesting. Yeah, I haven't played this matchup enough yet, and I think Han 2 is definitely on the rise in popularity, so we should see this pretty often now.
No question.
Maybe not this matchup, but just in the meta.
He gains a lot of power when with Tarkin Town decks going out of favor.
I will run into Han unit.
Okay, so I take 5 on Han.
Indeed.
Okay. Ooh. I'll go ahead and attack your base for another 6.
Blackjack.
You're 21, I believe.
Play a ski speeder.
Okay. So you have 4 resources left, 3 resources left? 3 resources left, right?
3 resources left.
Okay. resources left. Do you have one effect?
How many one-ofs in your list right now?
In my list? Yeah.
That just reminds me of his Baltimore list.
Yeah, I think that's what we're referring to. Yeah, that one-of list, that Baltimore list was a lot of one-ofs. Yeah.
Like 10 one-ofs. Like, it's crazy.
There were 10 one-ofs in that list? That's crazy.
No, I'm just saying it was like
Nope.
10 one-ofs.
Yeah.
It's so many.
You know, my friend that plays Palp Yellow all the time in Wisconsin is a big one-of list, so maybe it goes with that green-yellow kind of mindset.
Interesting. In Palp Yellow, I don't recall running a lot of one-ofs, but in Han Green, there have been builds where I ran a lot of one-ofs. This is not one of them, funny enough, but there's a lot of two-ofs in this build, but not a lot of one-ofs, I would say.
I don't
There's
mind,
the one-of.
I don't mind a spicy one-of in a list myself. In fact, there's 2 one-ofs in my list.
Okay, I'm going to...
Very often, if I have
smuggle out.
what is it, tech,
Yeah.
we will play BB-8 as a pilot on Bright Hope.
Right, hope, okay.
And we will ready pay 2 extra to ready the resistance speeder.
Okay. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't realize it was resistance. Now I do. Know that. That's pretty cool. Okay.
It's clearly meant to go with Biggs too, which is weird because Biggs has nothing to do with the resistance, and Thick was dead before the resistance was a thing. But
I'll go ahead and claim.
because the only he gives speeder grit, and then there's a speeder that does damage to itself. I mean, that's fairly obvious and had to be intentional. Alcohan. Have to.
Yep, makes
And
sense.
I'll hit you for 3. I'm on the board.
Yep.
Actually, I get to 6 now, but I'll pass.
Yeah. I had 3 damage before. All right. Anything else?
I'm deciding what to resource.
Oh, okay. We're going to the next turn then.
Yeah, no, I pass. No, Hotton can play more units with your resources than many decks. Because of 1 drop you can play for free.
All right. Good.
It's gotta be that. What we got?
All right, ready? Yep. I'll start with attacking for 2. 23.
I'll hit you for. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? Yeah.
Yep.
I'm going to use Han's ability and cast 7 for home 1. I'm gonna bring out the ski speeder back.
Okay.
Or
Okay.
I'll bring the ski speeder back with 3 damage on it. You're up.
Okay. I'll go ahead and Han into ski scooter.
Living on the edge. I will attack you for 3 and restore 1 to 22. Getting to 9 now.
Yep. And I will claim.
Pass.
Good. Goodbye. Interesting. Okay.
There's 2 damage on home 1. It's a used home 1.
Yeah.
I thought you were on 7. That's right.
So there's 2 damage on home 1 right now.
Correct.
So it's 5 left.
Yeah, just an easy deal 5 around that sentinel. You got this.
He had a waylay when he needed it before. Let's see what he got.
I'll attack you for 6.
Seems like the right thing to do.
Yeah, I didn't have the pump. I wish I had the pump.
Well, no, I used a hotshot blaster, so I'm very happy that happens because I'm sure that if you had hotshot in your road, that would have been the end of me. I will attack your base.
Oh yeah, or even tech with the surprise strike or whatever. Yep.
Any pump. I mean,
you attack for 7.
Yep. So, but I'm down to 26, and you take 7 to 16.
Yeah. That's 16. We have to claim again. Okay, I will go ahead and attack again for 2. Put you at 28.
How many cards in your hand?
4.
I think you're right. I think I don't have to do that, but what I will do is timely intervention.
Okay.
A unit that's having its moment right now. Oh damn right. Into Han.
Okay. And you have how many resources left after timely?
1.
Just 1, yeah. Okay, gotcha. And you're using any of the effects?
I am.
Deciding? Okay.
How many cards did you say? 2?
I had 4 in hand.
4. Okay,
Yeah.
we're just going to do 2 damage to I think your base. And we have
Okay.
to kill Han unit.
So I'm at 18, and then you trade into Han?
Yeah,
That's what you said? Okay. You just had 1 resource, right?
Yep.
Okay. I will tap 3, bring out a Falcon.
We will attack your base for 3, restoring 1 to 26.
Okay. Alright. So you're at 26. Alright, I will waylay the Bright Hope.
Alright, so Bright Hope goes to my hand. BB-8
Yep.
is destroyed. I claim. Oh, we lost Sonny's board there for a second, so let's see if he pops on back. I don't know if he can hear us.
Oh.
Hopefully there's not a tornado going through.
No, there's not. I can call him if we need to. It sounded like he had like a Windows error or something.
Yeah, no, I heard the same thing. I heard a Windows beep as it was going down. Well,
yeah.
Why don't you? So, what events is Team Secret attending as a group going forward? You said that you have quite a crew coming to Minneapolis.
Yeah, I think it's, let's see, just about everybody, but I think 5 out of the 8 of us are going. And we're all getting an Airbnb together, which is going to be fun. And then all of us are going to be going to the Galactics, and we're going to be traveling to a number of the PQs. in the East Coast. Games and stuff. West Virginia. There's potentially there's Richmond next weekend, which is really close to all of us. And maybe Pennsylvania and North Carolina. There's a couple might go to.
Hey.
Hey, welcome back.
IDC, did you?
Welcome back.
So,
right.
I actually won the game while you were gone. I went through my
Yeah.
entire
You
deficit
did?
turns because you weren't able to take actions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had the game actually.
What?
So I just was gonna put down a resource with Han and then bring out a second Falcon.
Oh, well, that'll do it. So let's go
Yeah.
to game. Let's go to game 2. I was hanging in there by a thread. I did have reinforcement walker, which, but for the second Han, was enough to skate by. But I think I needed to trade the Poe into it. I don't think anything else gave me any chance.
Yeah, makes sense.
So.
Can you see me again?
I can.
Yeah.
Your board just came right back. That's usually how it works.
Okay.
So don't.
All right, cool.
Don't mess with anything. I'm gonna sideboard for game 2.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. So that was that.
Yeah, I potentially.
I cannot see your board though anymore. I think maybe I need to refresh.
Check your video room. So whatever window had video should still be active because I can see you in the control room.
Okay, awesome.
Oh, maybe not.
No, I just lost him.
Yeah, you can just rejoin.
Can you see me again now?
I can see.
Cool. We're good.
Let
Now.
me check if it went in the overlay.
Awesome.
Yep, we're good, and you can see my board.
Yes, yeah, now I can see it. Good. That was interesting. I think it came down to the waylays.
It absolutely came down to the
Even like
Oh yeah.
yeah, so both waylays, the first and the second waylay, where it was one.
There's no question it did. I mean, and that's why I went with home 1 instead of Walker, because I did have Walker, and Walker is a core card to the deck for sure. Walker is very, very good. But it was because the Bright Hole was blocking for it, so it was harder for you to get around.
Yeah, the Bright Hope definitely walled me for a bit. I had to make a decision on if I wanted to be a little bit more aggressive in space during that mid game, or just go the route with the Hans, and then I went the route with the Hans.
Well, right, and the Han unit on the Falcon. I did not draw the Poe till the turn I played it. I top decked that, and Poe Red is definitely the best card in the deck, no question. But I would have preferred a more aggressive play.
Sideboarding for your deck.
What?
Sideboarding for your deck is definitely a thought.
Yeah, well, good luck. This is the first time I think I've played this.
So curious question for you.
It's just a mid-range value deck is all it is, and it relies on combos. So if you have the combos, you're usually happy. If you don't have the combos, it's not powerful, but it does some very unfair things.
There's so many ways you can build a Han 2 right now. Because you even have access to Chewbacca and all of those cards, right? Like, so you could build it as a aggro deck, just like this one, but...
Yeah, no, if you had not been looking like you were going to play a Falcon, let's say, now, I mean, it's actually would not have been horrible if you had resupplied on turn 1. Because if you resupply on turn 1 as opposed to there, and then don't have waylay, you kind of lose the game to the speeder by itself.
Correct. Yeah, it's very dangerous. Actually, what you didn't know is that I opened waylay and the one of confiscate. Yeah, but I decided to waylay. Yeah.
Well, not my day. I will try to get you again.
There, let's see. That. Probably sign up this.
Guard Data Vault took down a
Yeah,
PQ.
Garda.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. Yeah, and then one player in the chat mentioned, Long Pants mentioned that it's a good player from St. Louis.
This is
Well, I'm glad that the Guard Data Vault meta is on us. That sounds great.
yeah.
Alright,
This
good to go.
is apparently it's one of our guys. It's his friend that took it down,
Oh, you know the player?
and Josh does. It's one of Josh's friends.
With
apparently.
Josh Everly's friends?
Yeah.
Cool. That's pretty nice. Alright. You're going first. Gotta draw my hand. Do I mulligan? Do I keep this one? I will keep this one. Alright, ready when you are.
I will spend 2 with Han's action to play Snap Wexley on arena.
Okay.
My favorite set 4 card. No doubt.
That's actually, if you have resistance synergy, there's not many decks with resistance synergy, but if you can play enough of it, then that's a great card. And now that I know that Dilapidated Ski Speeder is a resistance card, that kind of makes that even better.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Okay, I'll use Han Effect. Put down one.
I'll claim.
Claim. Tap 3 and bring out this Falcon. Am I in the right arena?
That's Pilot Falcon.
Yeah, this is the Pilot Falcon. And pass after that. Okay. Alright, let's see.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how heavy you were leaning into pilots. I wasn't positive on your list.
This build is very heavy in pilots.
How much different is it than, say, Alex's list? Which I'm sure you're...
Alex and I are on the same list. Yeah,
It's a good
yeah,
list.
it's maybe like 2 cards different, really, but yeah, him and I collaborated quite a bit on the list.
Yeah, no. Nick's that won the Chicago PQ was 2 cards off of that list. 2.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, I noticed that as well.
All right. So he's grateful to you guys for doing the work. 2 damage to base with Snap.
Attack for 2 with Snap. Okay. I will attack for 6 with the Han Solo pilot.
Yeah, you will. I'll spend 2 for a regular dilapidated ski speeder because it's been discounted.
Okay. And I will claim.
Play bigs on it. Hope that you haven't found your way
Okay.
to this game.
We shall see.
That doesn't sound good, and I'll pass.
Right. Interesting.
Yeah, so Snap plays a role similar to Mothma in this deck too, because as an upgrade when he's played, he draws resistance cards. So he digs for pose.
Yeah, that's why he's so good.
And this is...
and what's the other effect of it discounts the resistance cards, right, that you play?
So what I really needed, in a very serious way, exactly last turn was Red Po, because you can play him on turn 2. And that's...
Okay, gotcha.
That's what would have kept me in the game, and that it actually gets addictive if you play that. The playing Poe on 2, because really that...
Yeah, that's crazy. That might be the only way that you can play him on 2. I can't think of any other deck that does that.
Yeah, but I mean, a Poe on 2, there, and then I could have taken care of at least the upgrade, there, and discard you. I mean, if you get an early Poe that Han Green can't answer, I mean, typically you want to discard Han Green, yellow Han Green,
right,
to keep him from using Han ability, or playing cards, one of the two.
Right. Well, I do have a waylay
Of
for
course you
the.
do. Of course you do.
Yeah, unfortunate. Yep.
Yeah, no, this is not the position you want to be in. I'll hit you for 2.
For another 2. Okay, I will use Han effect to put down 1 resource.
That's to 5, giving you 2 left.
Yep,
And how many cards remaining in your hand?
just 1.
Alright, we will play Blue Leader. We won't ambush. We'll put it in the ground arena with 2 damage on it.
Okay, gotcha. I will tap 2 to put Poe on Falcon.
Oh. That's super. I've already taken my 6, so I'm going to add another 3 to it. 15? I'll claim.
Yeah. You claim, yeah, attack, yeah, and then pass.
It could be worse. Could be a Chewbacca attached to it.
Yeah, it could be a Chewbacca, but in the red-green colors, it's hard to deal with that either way.
No, I think that the game was over essentially when you had Waylay there, unless I would have drawn Confiscate, which I run 3 of 2 now.
Okay, I have to destroy 1, so I'll destroy this resupply. And...
But I didn't. I did not draw Bright Hope or Confiscate, which I needed. Last turn, Poe would have. On turn 2, getting Poe down would have at least made this more fun.
Right. Yeah, that one definitely, if that happened, would have been okay. If you got waylaid, you would have been...
Yeah, whenever you play Snap, I mean, you're looking for Snap and Poe, or you're looking for, like, Ski Speeder and Biggs.
Yep.
But,
okay, so you're attacking for 2?
Yeah. And Austin, my buddy from Madison, has figured out a different deck that can play Poe on 2, but with a Spark of Hope.
Oh, okay.
So Han 2 could do it too by playing like a 1-drop on turn 1 with his ability to kill it, and then Spark of Hope to ramp on turn 1. And then that would be there.
Alright, let's see. I'm going to go ahead and get my attack in.
Yeah, I think that's probably pretty good.
9.
9.
Yep. 9, yep.
Yeah, 9's a lot. We'll play a speeder for... We can do a lot of things. I will play a extra dilapidated speeder for 1. 5 damage on it.
Okay. I'll use Han effect to put down 1, so I'm at 6 resources, 0 in hand.
Play Han.
Alright, so you're showing 3 from Han, 5 from Blue Leader, and then you have 2 resources ready, is that right? Or is it more?
4 resources ready.
4 resources ready. Oh, okay, yeah. That's right. You
discounted. Speeder was discounted by 1 by Snap, and then it was also discounted.
Yeah, gotcha. It was double discounted. That makes sense.
It's a very cheap ski
I will.
It's barely hanging on.
Yeah, I'll flip out Han.
I will use. Let's see. What do I want to feudally do this match? I think what I'll feudally do is play BB-8 on Blue Leader.
Okay. They're ready something, right?
Yeah. I can, but I'm not going to.
Oh, you're not going to. Okay. Let's just play it. So blue leader is what, like a 6/6 right now with 2 damage on it?
Yeah,
Is
it
that
is
right?
a 6/7 with 2 damage.
6/7 with 2. Okay. Yeah, I'll get my attack into your base to the 28. Then I put a resource down.
Well, I'm going to hit you for 6 to base.
Okay. Smuggle out the big falcon. 6.
Just got falcons for days up there.
Yeah. This deck really does have all the falcons.
I'll Han ability to play a Poe Dameron unit with 2 damage on it temporarily. I don't know. We'll have him ride
All right.
the X-Wing to stare down your falcons up there.
Gotcha. And I will just claim.
I will hit your base for 3, and I'll pass.
All right. Save it at 15.
Ah, I drew my Poe, but too late. Good games, my friend.
Little too late, yeah.
Yeah.
Good games. Yeah, it really came down to Waylay. I think that both of these decks actually, because they play upgrades on their units,
Right.
are somewhat susceptible to bounce, right?
Correct. And both of these decks do not like do what Kaz does and makes it a leader unit. Like Kaz piloting
Yeah.
is a Falcon, can't be waylaid, can be entrenched, as you demonstrated, or your compatriot demonstrated well. But
Yeah.
because your leader cannot pilot it, it can get the waylay. I mean, I was sincerely hoping to, get a Poe unit for the second turn because I knew that's what I needed if you did space. But I didn't see Bright Hope or Confiscate. I needed a Bright Hope or Confiscate early too. If I don't
Yeah.
have Poe.
And did you cite in 2, 3 confiscates?
Yeah, I sided in all the Confiscate for that, and I sided
Gotcha.
in crate. I have an extra crate. And I sided
Extra
in
crate,
salvage.
yeah.
I also sided in Radis. Radis is very, very good against you, but not against the right away pilot attack. But I mean, kind of in the mid game, it's there. But what I really like about this deck is you can actually go really hard in space or ground, and it's very difficult, for your opponent to guard both. But yeah, no, good stuff. All right, well, I think we're going to wrap it up. This is our Sunday Fun Day edition, so I do have to work tomorrow. Everybody, please subscribe to Team Secret. I think we still got 35 people watching live as of a second ago. At
Awesome. A
at
lot of
past
lot of
midnight
viewers.
Eastern time.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So yeah, we got to get these guys subs. Their content is very, very good. I thought that the Quinlan video was done. I know you have a podcast. Is it on the Secret channel as well, Ryan?
Yeah,
Yes.
we do it live on Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern time.
All right. Well, no, I'd be happy to
Yeah,
come
it's
and chat
actually
with
very
you guys.
similar to this, but we don't play games as of yet. We do a lot of discussion on what just recently happened in the meta.
Yeah, we talk about the meta. We talk about different aspects of the game, such as like this past week we talked about coaching and importance of coaching and a number of different aspects of the game that are not just about the game itself, but um, different high level theories and things of that nature for new players and competitive players alike.
Yeah, no, I believe in that, and I have done coaching myself, and I've also been coached. I haven't done that for there, but I've had people help me. But I'm always happy to talk with people, and getting input from good players is how everybody gets better. Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%.
And we do it live, so if anybody has questions, we like to interact with our chat. It's definitely more fun than just posting a video, I feel.
And that's why I like this too. I mean, we've been doing the live show a while. Normally we have more more late nighters around, but the schedule change
Yeah.
kind of messed with our mojo. But
You're just going to bed too early, I think, is the problem.
Oh, there he is. Symbio's right on time. So
Just adulting.
Symbio might have just woke up. And he'll be
Yeah,
awake.
something like that.
He'll be awake until he pops back into his coffin later. In his spider costume. But yeah, no. Subscribe to these guys, and we will see you in Minnesota. It sounds like both of you are coming, right?
Yes, yeah, both of us will be there.
Well, make sure to stop by my booth and say hello. Too. We should be doing coverage there. So.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Any last words for your Dortmund fans from you guys?
No, not for myself.
Nope.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for the support. Really appreciate it, and look forward to seeing you in Minnesota and providing more content for everybody.
And what does the name mean?
It's a secret.
That's right. All right. Thanks everybody for joining us, and if you watched this far, you are my hero. We're signing off.